Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Today here on Saturday on the 3rd of September. So Saturday always gives me a bit of an opportunity to recap on the week and to take a look at the higher level wave counts. Maybe I'll make that a bit of a routine because a lot of new viewers come in. They also want to know what's going on, and I think Saturday may be a good day to sort of look at the higher level wave patterns. So we start with Bitcoin obviously in this video. We take a look at the bullish count first. The bullish count is very, very valid. It's okay, it works. And it all depends now on what's going to happen in this sort of lower level time frame here, and we take a look at that. But in the higher level, in the bullish count on the higher level time frame, we can also assume that the low was in. There is at the moment obviously a very high probability both in the bullish and the bearish counts. Yeah, they are very close together, those probabilities. That just has to do with the sideways movement that Bitcoin is doing. But as I said in previous videos, the longer this sideways movement takes that Bitcoin is doing now, the more likely it gets that we get another low. It is what it is, yeah. If Bitcoin can't develop now an impulse to the upside, it will get more and more likely over the days and maybe even weeks that we will get another low. But with the bullish count, what we can see here is that Bitcoin made a wave 1. That was in April 21, and we are now, in the bullish count, we already completed the correction. Even in the bullish count, it would be possible to make a lower low, but we have to stay basically above 17,600, don't we? So all of this is possible in the bullish count. Just want to show you the higher level wave count, which suggests here a wave 1 and the wave 2, possibly completed, possibly another dip, but we need to stay above 17,600 for that, because here it will get invalidated, that bullish count. Below 18,900 already, it will lose in probabilities. So the wave 2 correction consisted of a wave A, that was the corrective move which came down here in 3 waves in in June. Then we moved up in a corrective wave B, and we moved down in an impulse of a correction in a wave C, which is a 5-wave move. This is a so-called expanded flat pattern where the wave B moved above the previous wave high. That's possible. And if that's the case, we need to go below the low of the wave A. We talked about this wave pattern already in November. I think it was end of November, and it was, I think, when 58K were broken. Then this became my primary expectation, and I did not move away from this throughout the last 9 months. Target for a new all-time high, I said that before as well, but this is probably months away, maybe even years. That is the 1.618 extension, the absolute minimum between 100 and 16,600. That can shift a little bit depending on how low we actually go. So between that level and the 140K level, maybe we can stretch it up to 177K, but that would be really a bit of a stretch here. But sort of the region around the 200% extension, 140K, I think is very realistic for a new all-time high scenario. So let's zoom into the lower level wave count now, and then we also take a look at the bearish wave count, also the higher level one. So what we can immediately see here, this is the first time when we started to track a bullish scenario in the last 9 to 10 months, okay? Before that, there was no possibility for a bullish scenario. Not here, yeah, I excluded that option. Not here, I excluded that option. Yes, there was another alternative, but it would have also ended down here. But here I excluded everywhere. Here I don't exclude a bullish option. That is so important to understand. I am not per se bullish, but what we are saying is that it is absolutely possible, and above 18.9K even a little bit more likely, that the low is already in for Bitcoin, or at least that we don't go below 17.6K anymore. Okay, so this is what it is. Yeah, nobody knows the outcome, of course, especially because the structure isn't great for a bullish case. So I have to say that as well. It's not great, but I also can't confirm that we definitely will go down to 10K. Yeah, this would be my absolute worst case, as I said in one of the last videos. But what we're interested in here is the bullish count, of course. So in the bullish count, and I go to the 1 hour chart for that. And then we also take a look at the more imminent wave count. In the in the bullish case, what we say is we moved up here in a wave 1, we came down in 2, moved up in another 1, and we are now in the wave 2 here, consisting of an A, B, C, so basically another expanded flat pattern. In this expanded flat pattern, we are now in this corrective wave. There is a chance the low here is already in of this correction, but the more sideways movement there is, I don't think it is anymore. I think we're going to see another dip. Might be that what we need. The only exception is if we now see an impulsive rally above 20,570, then we can say again the low is in. Highlighted here by the numbers, so we could very much say at the moment, we could very much say, and that is sort of, we've got 2 counts on this chart. Let me just make that another color. So we've got the yellow numbers there in brackets. They would suggest, okay, we've done here a wave 1. So let me just zoom in and show you. This would now be the scenario where we have seen already the low here. That was at 19,500. We came down, we came down from 25.2k. We can count this as a completed 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could say, okay, the minimum requirements for this low are complete. And this is also where I told you again for the first time the low of this correction could be in. Here it wasn't. Here we could only count 3 waves. Therefore we expected this reversal area to the downside, which also happened. And now here when we came down, said to you, here the low can be in of this larger move. Now we then rallied up but came down too much. So we can still see this as a wave 1 and a wave 2, assuming the low might really be in, and then we would have here that we would be in that wave 3 in yellow now, and within the wave 3 in yellow we would have done another one too. But it's not convincing yet, and I think we're on the brink here of making another low. So it's possible what you see here in yellow that the low was already in, based on the yellow count. Now we've got the green count here as well. The green count as well, which would suggest that there is another low coming. Because in the green count, we would say this was a wave 1, this was a wave 2, this was the wave 3 with an extended wave 3 in between. This is currently the wave 4, a triangle. We talked about that extensively in the last few videos, and we're coming down in a wave 5 once more. Now we don't need to get below 18.9k definitely, so we can still see this scenario within the bullish count as well. Why is this likely? It's likely because this long sideways movement always suggests there is a wave 4 going on, and this triangle pattern actually works out quite well. Here the wave A, the wave B, the wave C, the wave D, the wave E, and that could very much have been finished yesterday. And after that we saw an impulse to the downside. So it could very well be that this was the wave 1 already of the last wave down. We have seen maybe a wave 2 already of the last wave down, and next we would see a sell-off in wave 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. So I think at the moment we are going to see another low. I mentioned that yesterday as well. There is a chance to go up, but only above 20,572. Then the triangle is invalidated. As long as we are here in this sort of triangle or sideways range, I would primarily say we see another dip. So if this pushes us into the bearish case, or if we can maintain the bullish case in that last leg down, that is what we need to see. But key breakout point here to the downside is the 19,520 level. Then I think for me it's confirmed that we are already here in the impulse down, and possibly then already in a wave 3 down, and we'll see another low. Ideally above 18.9k. There is not a lot of space though. There is not a lot of space. So let's also take a look at the bearish count, which would come into force if we really see here a low below, well, first of all 18.9k. This would make this one much more likely, and the drop below 17.6k doesn't leave me another option just to focus on this one. Okay, so here same story. We moved up in a wave 1, we came down in a wave A, we moved up in a B, we're now coming down in a C. In this wave C, however, we have a little bit of a different substructure, in that this here was a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and now the 5. And in the wave 5, we have subwaves, and this is an extended wave 5. In the bearish count, we have an extended wave 5, where we have in red, this is the higher level wave count, completed a wave 1 here, a wave 2, a wave 3. This was the low at 17.6k, moved up in a wave 4, and we're now coming down in a wave 5. and this is when we need to zoom in. So hopefully that gives you a clear idea of the overall structure, because people always ask, and maybe I'm going to link this video somewhere, because it is sort of showing the both possibilities from a high level count point of view. Here then, if we zoom in, we saw here a W, an X and a Y. The structure now would suggest that we could already be coming down in an impulse down. But you can see already here on the daily chart that it might really be that we see another dip, because we're just moving sideways. You could call that a rectangle pattern in traditional TA. And as I just showed you in the bullish count, it is the same story here, in that we moved down in a wave 1, 2. This would be the 3, this the 4, and we'll see another wave 5 down. Why is that likely? That's likely because we can have another 1, 2 set up here. Then we have a 1, 2, a 1, 2, then we would count this as a 3, a 4, a 5 to complete this higher level wave 3. Then here the wave 4 up and the wave 5 down. And as I said to you, this could just have been a triangle pattern, A, B, C, D, E, which is now solving itself to the downside, that we see this 5th wave coming down in the first wave in blue. Yeah, and then we'll see that wave 2 correction. I already anticipated or expected that wave 2 correction to the upside, possibly this week. Didn't happen. Yeah. Why did I expect it? Well, I expected it because we already can count 5 waves down, but we never saw the confirmation, we never saw the breakout to the upside really. Yeah, it was starting to look good though. It was starting to look good, but the price couldn't hold it. So at the moment we just need to readjust here slightly. And my view is now, if we go above 20,570, then we probably already start. Then the low was in, and then we start the wave 2. If we don't see that move above 20,570, we have to assume that we come down lower. In the bearish count, of course, this wave 5 in yellow could be very long. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how long it is, but given the length of the wave 1, it shouldn't take us very far down. Yeah, so maybe 18.9k will also be here a key support, and then we will move up in a wave 2 correction, which will be an ABC pattern. So basically here, after another low, you move up in ABC in a wave 2, and then come down in your wave 3. So, and this is currently what I see. Both options possible. Yeah, I'm still leaning a little bit towards the bullish case, but in both cases, as I said before, I would expect another leg down of this decline, unless we break above 20,570. And the signal to the downside would occur below 19,550. And the next support then would be 18.9k. Should we lose that, it would be the 17.6k level, okay, which is down here. And that's my update about Bitcoin. That also shows you the higher level wave count. It reveals basically the next step, also in a bearish case. And yeah, in the bearish case, by the way, if we make another dip, I would still expect that wave 2 to get into the region between 22 and 23k. It depends a little bit on how low we actually go before we retrace to the upside, and then we would see another sell-off. That wave 3 then would definitely make us a new lower low. Key support level here as well, if we lose the 17.6k, is the 16.9k level. This is an absolute relevant support. It is the 78.6% fib level on the Bitcoin chart. Very relevant support. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.